What's up, people? Shame TV East Watch. Your host, you know who it is.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Okay, this morning I'm coming at you guys to do a quick little live stream. We're pretty much going to listen to some audio and have a quick discussion about the audio. What up, Darren? We're going to listen to some audio on Kamala Harris and Roland Martin. I've been wanting to do this for a couple of weeks, if I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's something that needs to be done, needs to be said. You said you got the same shirt. You got to rock it like this, though, with the Boston fitted, damn it. But on a serious note, Kamala Harris is receiving a lot of backlash, as she should. So once she started receiving the backlash, then you started getting attacks, and she started getting help from her Boule counterparts, her Boule friends, like Roland Martin. Now, Roland Martin is what we call a known person, but don't nobody really know him. Like Roland Martin, you heard his name maybe once or twice or some shit like that, but nobody watches Roland Martin. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's checking for Roland Martin. Nobody's trying to see what's going on with Roland Martin. Nobody really listens to Roland Martin. So I'll tell you guys now that in the next few years, you're not even going to hear shit about Roland Martin. But the main thing that I've been wanting to talk about is Roland Martin and these Boule types, the type of people who are like him, the type of people who just want to be a part of what's going on as far as hoity-toityness, meaning they want to be seen with XYZ. They want to be seen with Barack Obama. They want to be seen with Kamala Harris. They want to be seen with these people because it's all about that, the prestige to live life, to pretend like you hoity-toity. That's what I call it because that's what I see it as. Now, to break it down literally, what it really is a group of niggas who are satisfied with slavery light. And that's pretty much all I can say about that. You're satisfied with slavery light. You don't mind slavery as long as it only affects niggas like me, not you. You only have a problem with white supremacy when they don't recognize that you went to Hillman or you went to Morehouse or you went to Norfolk State or you went to some traditionally, aka Hampton U, some sort of black university. As long as you get your clout for doing that, as long as you get clout from the dominant white society for being educated, which we're gonna have a whole nother video on that, but I promise y'all, because I'm sick of that shit. Okay? Going to college doesn't mean you're educated. So sorry. So these people only want to be seen in the dominant society as equals or at least slightly below the white supremacists. Okay? So we'll get into a little bit. Let me get a bell real quick.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
And what we're going to do is we're going to start listening. Got a little commercial ad up here on the video I'm playing. Hold on.
Okay, so we got Kamala Harris forced on us endlessly. So I mean,
yeah, she's been forced.
I never heard of her a few weeks ago, and now every corporate Democrat is like, Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. Oh my God, you got to see Kamala Harris, Kamala Harris. See the new Kamala Harris movie? It's coming out. It's incredible. It's great. So I went on Twitter to see what Kamala Harris stands for. One of the first tweets I see was, "We need to put an end to the prison industrial complex that profits off the imprisonment of millions." Incredible. That sounds great. I'm all for that.
Now that's Kamala Harris. That's what she said.
But then you look into it, and it turns out she has all kinds of connections to the police state, to our prison industrial complex. At least 10 police groups donated to her re-election campaign for attorney general in California. And she had
You see that? She'll come out and say mass incarceration and shit like that because she knows that when you're dealing with black people and a lot of white people now, people are waking up to the court system. They're starting to realize, even if they go down the free man path and all of that stuff, if they start going down the free man sovereign shit, okay, fine. But the point is they're waking up to that shit. The average person is waking up and recognizing that these judges have way too much power. Like, there's no way in hell that a man or a woman should be able to walk in a room and require you to stand up. And if you don't stand up, they'll throw you in a cage. Like, shit like that was ignored for so long because it was like standard protocol when you went to court. But then when you start realizing how these people really are and how they're carrying shit, then you'll see, dog, that the only reason they're doing this shit is for control. It ain't about money. It ain't about none of that shit for real. It's about controlling you without you recognizing you're being controlled. So she's going to come out and say, yo, you motherfuckers, we're fighting for whatever police corruption. Bitch, you're a prosecutor and you're one of the worst ever. So looking at it, really, you are the corruption because all the police do is bring them in. You're the one who continues the push on these people and put them in prison.
Endorsement of at least 4 dozen law enforcement groups. In 2014, judges passed a law that would release inmates early due to overcrowding. But lawyers for Kamala Harris argued in court that if they were released early, they would lose an important labor pool because...
Now, if released early, they would lose labor. So she could care less. Hold on, y'all. Let me put this out. She could care less, nigga, about anything. All she cares about not letting them out is prison labor. We're going to lose free labor or cheap ass labor. Now let's think about that. Somebody who's going to tell you that I'm going to fight tooth and nail to keep people locked up, even though they sleeping on floors, wrapped around toilets, some nasty illegal shit. I'm going to fight to keep these niggas in jail so that we keep cheap free labor. Do you have to be a rocket scientist to put two and two together to realize that maybe the reason she's locking up a lot of these people willy-nilly is for the labor? The reason she's fighting to keep these people in lockup because of the labor is because that's one of the main reasons she fucking locked them up in the beginning.
Apparently, these prisoners working day in and day out for pennies, if anything, is more important to California than the actual lives of people who are locked up, often for little to nothing. So she's not cool with releasing these inmates early because they need the cheap labor, and she's hard on crime, right? Well, she's not really hard on crime. She's easy on white-collar crime. She refused to prosecute Steve Mnuchin for his 36,000 foreclosures. Mnuchin violated numerous...
36,000 foreclosures. Not 3,600, not 3,600. 36,000 people Mnuchin scammed and threw out of their houses. 36,000 people in the state of California were thrown illegally out of their houses by Steve Mnuchin. And we'll see what Kamala Harris did about it.
The state foreclosure laws, but, you know, don't prosecute him because he's not the one sewing the Gap sweaters for 4 cents a year. And Mnuchin gave her a little thank you. She was the only Democrat he donated to in 2016. You know, just an unmarked brown paper bag left on her doorstep.
Exactly. She'll fight to keep Okay, let's say this, like, let's look at this, guys. Let's start talking about this shit, okay? She'll fight to keep in prison or jail lockup a motherfucker with a driving on suspended license charge that they gave a year to or 10 months, some bullshit. Something that's not affecting a single fucking soul. She will fight to keep that motherfucker locked up. But Steve Mnuchin and all these other people could run around and do whatever. They could fucking harm and criminalize and steal from 36,000 people, and you do nothing.
In 2015, she also refused to endorse. She joined other law enforcement in standing against body cameras on police officers, which, you know, she said it's not she believes it doesn't require a one-size-fits-all solution. What, you need bigger body cameras for the fatter guy?
This is what I mean. In her words, a woman of color. What up, I don't Bible. In her eyes, she's a woman of color. Even if you don't call yourself black, even if you don't call yourself American DOS, whatever the fuck. The point is, you know what the fucking police are doing and what they've been doing. You know that the FBI came out and said since 2006 that the law enforcement agencies and police departments across America have been successfully infiltrated by neo-Nazi groups and or white supremacists. That was 13 years ago. So it's no surprise that I keep hearing routinely brothers and sisters being abused by the police. That's no surprise to me whatsoever. Of course they will. Why do you think they say shit like, we're going to have sensitivity training for the police? Sensitivity training? Yes, to deal with the various groups and different nationalities of people that they may encounter. You're a fucking American, G. You know already, dog, that America is full of different fucking people that you will encounter. From Guatemalan to fucking Cambodian that live here now. You got motherfuckers who are from Thailand, and you got motherfuckers who are from Africa who live here now. Everyone knows that. So why the fuck would you apply for a job where you're going to be dealing with everybody, but you need to be trained on how to deal with everybody? Monkey fuck out of my face with that shit.
What's the problem, Kamala? This is just an easy solution to a lot of problems by our fucking cops that are brutalizing people. Also, when an Oakland police officer shot a man.
That's why you get no help. Hold on, y'all, before I let that go. That's why we get nowhere. That's why we get no help. I keep telling people, everyone wants to talk about the police. Yo, the problem, dog, are the fucking courts, not the police themselves. The courts are the ones backing this shit up and doing it to you. And the people who are doing it is her. Kamala Harris is the one who is saying that, hey, it's okay for them to do that to you because if I felt that it wasn't okay, I could prosecute him. She will not do that because she feels it's okay. It's not even if she feels it's okay. She just doesn't give a fuck.
And was also unarmed and killed him. She refused to prosecute him because he was consistently beholden to police unions, the police state, police groups. In fact, she even arrested the protesters that were demanding she charge the police officer. Those she has time to arrest. Because they're sitting there and they're probably on a hunger strike.
So the people who come up, the citizens, the whatever you want to call them, free Americans, they come up and they protest that their prosecutor is not doing a good job, that she's letting corruption go unchecked. and she has them arrested. And like he said, you can't have Mnuchin arrested. Can't have cops who going into the wrong apartment and shooting and killing people arrested immediately. Can't do that. But let a nigga not renew his license. Your ass is going to jail. Let a nigga protest about some injustice in front of Kamala Harris and your ass is going to jail. What up, Prince? My nigga. Let that happen. Let one of your kids get influenced by some knucklehead and skip school. Watch what Kamala Harris do to your ass. But scamming 36,000 people out of their homes, she'll do nothing.
They're very easy to take down. They're weak and tired. She also increased the conviction rate for drug dealers from 56% to 74% across only 3 years. We all know the drug war is a fucking scam, all right? It was started during the Nixon administration specifically to arrest people in the black community and people in the activist community. It's been a scam since...
Which means it's no longer a secret. What's up, assassin? It's no longer a secret. Okay? This goes to Kamala Harris. This goes to every police officer who sees this, every whoever. I, Keisha Shabazz, Miss, I'm an attorney. The whole court system is a fucking fraud from the word go. It's a play and nothing more. It's no different than WWE and the NFL. It's sports entertainment. It's like people who think that the NFL is actually real. Nigga, that shit is scripted. The people who come out and told about the NFL being scripted, they've been killed gang style. So says the investigating police officers that every time these people die is gangland style. For telling that the NFL is not real, that they, since like 2003 or some shit like that, 2002, they've been turning into WWE and basically predetermining who's going to win each game and each match. So when your season starts and you think, yeah, my team got a good shot of going at least 11-5 this year, it's already been predicted whether they'll be 10-6, 11-5, 9-7, all that shit. The courts are no different. And Kamala Harris is an officer of that court. Whilst pretending and telling you that she's here for you and she's here to take the bad people off the street. Why do you just keep getting taken off the street and you know you're not bad?
A1, and she's increasing the number of people arrested in the drug war. She also backed a district attorney who falsified a confession and hid lab results. Also, Kamala Harris fought hard, very, very hard to keep an innocent man in prison. His name is Daniel Larson. He spent 13 years in prison, and when he was finally, after a lot of fighting by a lot of people, including the Innocence Project, judges finally overruled and ruled that he should be released. And she then came back and said, no, he has to remain in prison because the paperwork was late. The date it was late on the.
So you're trying to say that something he filed was technically a day late. So since it was technically a day late and you know this man is innocent, let's just leave him in there. That's Kamala Harris. That's not me making up shit about her. That's not anyone making up anything about her. You don't need to make up nothing about her. Ebony Knowledge, peace. Sugar and Spice, welcome, peace. That's how it goes, man. It's all a fucking game, G. Kamala Harris.
She literally said, because he fucked up his paperwork, the innocent man should stay in jail. Harris voted to confirm General Mattis. She called him a voice of moderation and pragmatism. Mattis's nickname is Mad Dog. And his nickname among the military guys is Chaos. That's what his friends call him. He's a fucking maniac. Yes, she voted with 97 other senators, but they're all the same fucking crap shit that's been pushed at us forever. Why would you want to vote for the same pile of shit? How about civil asset forfeiture? Let's talk about that for a second. You guys probably recall that that's when police steal the property of people they've arrested, people they've charged, but sometimes people they haven't even charged at all. They steal the property to the tune of millions and millions of dollars. In 2011, Kamala Harris fought against a bill that would have restrained civil asset.
One thing I used to push for, and I still do, in heart and soul and spirit, is that it should be completely illegal for anyone that is not accused of committing a violent crime. I don't care if you was selling all the dope and whatever, accused of selling all the dope and whatever. That's not a violent crime. You didn't do anything to anybody. I think that anybody who is locked up for any crime that does not involve violence or possible violence, before you're convicted, your things, property taken, before you've even been convicted of anything, that should be the most illegal process in America. Sorry. Because technically, like you tried to use a technicality that he did a piece of paper, he filed a piece of paper late, so he should stay in prison even though he didn't do it. Technically, I shouldn't be in jail until I'm convicted, because it's like you're punishing me. You're sending me to the punishment that I would go through once convicted, but I'm not convicted yet. So why am I receiving the fucking punishment already? Just things to make you think. But Kamala Harris is totally against these type of thoughts.
Forfeiture. Then in 2015,
she wants your shit stolen.
Sponsored a bill that expanded civil asset forfeiture in California. Her top donors include Comcast and Time Warner, who are fighting to kill net neutrality. You think she's going to defend net neutrality when her fucking sugar daddies are the ones crushing it? Let's go on to climate change. When she was Attorney General, yes, this is a good thing. She opened an investigation into ExxonMobil to see whether they defrauded investors for undermining climate science, for trying to make people not believe in climate science, even though they knew the truth. Leaked memos have proven they knew the truth about climate change way back in the fucking 80s. But then, the moment she started running for Senate, she dropped that investigation. It went nowhere. The moment she started running for Senate and realized she needed the money of the oil and gas industry in order to win that position. So she can talk and tweet all she wants about climate change, but she had the chance to hold Exxon accountable and fucking failed.
Exactly. Like every other politician, they come out and they say one thing only to make you think and know, only to make you think what they want you to think. They come out and pretend to be your friend only to hide the fact that they're not. I don't understand. I've been saying that since I had a YouTube page. Listen, yo, when these people come at you and pretending like they're your friends, they're only doing it to hide the fact that they're not your friends. When they're saying they're putting these things in action to protect you, it's only to hide the fact that it has nothing to do with protecting you. It has to do with being able to control you more, G. That's it. Nothing more. When they say look up, fucking look down. That's it. When they say look down, look up.
And if the corporate Democrats want to tell you that we have to put her forward because she can win, she can beat Trump, this is the one, this is the golden child. According to a poll a month ago, she would only beat Trump by 1%. That's inside the margin of error. So in conclusion, climate change, drug war, oil and gas, net neutrality, police state, prison industrial complex, she sucks on all of it. She sucks at all of those things. So as long as you don't care about any of those issues, then maybe she's great.
Exactly. Hold on, guys. Got another commercial for the video.
And he damn sure wouldn't have got it from white people. Never. It would have never happened. I got to use Barack Obama as an example for this because
you must study
a lot of people thought Barack Obama won
application of it, really.
Of his speaking style, his youth, his good looks, those things help. But the thing that Black America could appreciate and white America could appreciate, he stuck with his own people. See, the thing that white people have a lot of respect for, they respect Black people more if they stick with their own. If Barack Obama would have been married to a white person, there's no way, a white woman, there's no way he would have got the blacks.
No way. Now, the second part of this, Kamala Harris, is her European husband. Yes, Sean, the application of law is important. It's way more important than studying law. Like, you could study jurisprudence, you can study mal invictus, you can study everything that has to do with court. You can study the star chambers and how things are supposed to operate, et cetera, et cetera. You can do all of that. None of that really has anything to do with the fact that they don't have any evidence, facts, witnesses with personal firsthand knowledge to attest that any of their codes apply to you in real time. Nothing. Nothing whatsoever. Back to Ms. Harris, though. We're listening to audio and how people feel about Kamala Harris, and then we're going to get on Roland Martin's fucking roly ass. Yo, that nigga.
20 with the Democratic Party. And I'm from the home state of California. I know that Kamala Harris was a prosecutor up in San Francisco, not too far from me in Sacramento. And I'm sitting back thinking, like, how can the Democrats be this fucking stupid? I mean, shout out to Anthony Brown Williams. He did a bang up job on his video. I'll post it in the description. But are they just trying to give 2020 to Trump?
Pretty much.
Because if they are doing a bang up job. Let me just say this. Last election, Donald Trump won the president of the United States without what?
No, they don't apply.
The black vote.
And Kamala knows they don't apply.
Listen to me when I say this. Donald Trump won without the black vote. And if Donald Trump can win without the black vote in 2016, that means that the Democrats cannot win without the black vote.
Vote, exactly.
Because they couldn't win with the black vote.
So you see, that's why I played that, y'all. So you see why you actually see Kamala Harris. That's why you see Kamala Harris. I don't know Rashawn Sankofa. I don't know if they all Mason or not. But one thing I do know is you don't have to be no Mason to be evil, nigga. Like, all them people ain't Mason. You know what I'm saying? They just evil motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is, dog. Like, it's masonry, like I said before on my show, masonry over here, how we talk about that is like, what up, knowledge? That is like a gun. It's how you apply it. Okay? I'm the first one to tell any and everybody, yo, Illuminati is not evil. Illuminati is a word, okay, that has a meaning. Okay? It derives from the term illuminate, to shine, and it's a metaphor of intelligence and higher thinking. That's all it means. Doesn't mean Rosicrucian and Bilderberg and all that shit. Like, that's not what Illuminati means. Illuminati means just to be intelligent. In a flat word using a synonym, that's all it means. So what you do with that intelligence determines whether you are determined good or evil. That's what it means. So when you're having these discussions about who's doing what, like Kamala Harris, people, oh, she's an evil Mason. I don't give a fuck whether she was a Mason or not, whether she was a worthy matron or whatever or not. The fact is she helps push evil. Say it. There's tons of motherfuckers who are down south who are running those towns, those white supremacist racist motherfuckers running those fucking towns, and they ain't taking no oath, they ain't Mason, they just on an agenda. You don't have to be none of that shit. It don't like it's like evil. And I'm gonna say it in as plain as I can say, like I've been saying. No one has a monopoly on evil. Okay? Because that's to say only bad and evil things are committed by Masons. And the people who are not Masons who do it, what are they called? You see what I'm saying? So it's like, that's how I am about that. Kamala Harris is a piece of shit because she's a piece of shit. Whether she's a Mason or not has no never mind to me. What's his name? Jeffrey Dahmer is a piece of shit. Whether he is a Mason or not, which I'm sure he's not, means no never mind to me. They're the same entity. They both need to be removed from regular people because you'll do nothing but commit harm. And that's all she does. That's what she does for a living. She goes in there and puts people in prison through a corrupt system that we all agree with when we had our cookouts and picnics and our private conversations that is corrupt and needs to be revamped from top to bottom. We all agree on this shit. And she runs that shit. It's just that when you dealing with niggas and you start doing prestigious shit like titles, oh, the prosecutor of the like, bitch, I don't give a fuck. That's no different. When I hear the word prosecutor, I hear decapitator. You the motherfucker who cut people's heads off. I don't think of you in no noble, righteous manner. Are you crazy? You pieces of shit. Let us continue. I want to hear Roland. We're going to hear a little bit of Roland's thoughts on how we should be accepting Kamala Harris. Roland's a funny ass nigga, G. I'm going to let somebody else talk about him for a second, then we'll play him.
The actual nature of our enemy. And that's why I said that we need to study and know who the true God is. We need to know who we are. And we need to know who the real devil is, Brother Phil, because once we know who the real enemy is, we will treat them accordingly. We don't really see them as our open enemy. And that is our problem.
Right. Well, it's the fair word is the 10th. I'm letting y'all know now. New policy. If I can't tell y'all decoding, I'm blocking you. Yes. I don't want you around here. Because if you decoding that, you decode something else too.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? We all got to take that policy now. Like just start blocking folks when you see them decoding things. Why you decoding? We're telling something to help you and talk to you. Not if we want to decode something, we just go and say what they understand it, right? I mean, exactly. We had our own languages when we came over here, and that's what the first thing they did was to take our languages away so they could understand. That's why they hate all these different groups as well, talking their language around them because they can't fully understand.
Exactly. And just to spin off of that Freemasonry thing, bro, Masonry was created by brothers and sisters. Like, niggas created Freemasonry. It just wasn't called Freemasonry. That's all. Like, y'all gotta really get off of that, man. People are evil because of evil energy. It has nothing to do with that shit. Because if you go by that, meaning if you're gonna tell me that I just gotta watch out for Masons being evil, I keep saying, what happens when evil comes to me and it's not a Mason? What is your explanation for that? Because you told me the only evil people are Masons. And I'm trying to tell you, I don't know. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Evil is evil. It has nothing to do with whether you a goddamn Mason or not, because most of them fucking Freemasons don't do nothing but put on suits and go join each other and eat crackers and cake, nigga, just to get away from their wives. Like all of this extra shit, those are just cliques. Sororities, frats, masonry, all of those things are just cliques, bro. There is no such thing as a Mason. I've done this already on my show. There's people on earth who call themselves Mason. Aaron Sapp says he's a Mason. Am I supposed to call him evil now? He could be out here doing way more righteous shit than anybody on YouTube, than anybody in his community. How do I get to call him evil? It's just another label. That's all it is. Like, you guys sound like those dudes who fucking everything is about the 666 and the number this and do they this and like, what are you talking about, dog? Do you know that whole distraction of Freemasonry thrown in your face, do you know that was purposely done as well? That you were purposely given this information to call Freemasons evil and to look at Freemasons and Freemasons and Freemasons, while all around you, everybody is just displaying evil. Evil is evil. Period. White supremacy runs off of evil, G, not masonry. Period. White people are winning because niggas want them to win. Do you understand that? They're not beating us because they beating us. They're not beating us because they beating us. Are you serious, man? They're beating us because we're beating us. Yo, 33, 43, 73, none of that shit means anything, dog. All that shit is concocted information that people put together when they was deciphering ancient fucking knowledge. All this 33, 43 degree masonry, man, get the fuck. I don't try to hear none of that shit. They're winning because we allow it, period. I don't know why everybody wants to make this shit so complicated. Like, when I was younger doing this shit, I came through that realm. I came through, oh, there's an eye with a pyramid, so that must mean, like, get the fuck out of here, nigga. That don't mean none of that shit. That don't mean none of that shit. I'm at the point now where I've met too many evil motherfuckers to be talking about Freemasonry anymore. Because these motherfuckers are evil. Period. And the number one reason why I get on that case is because if two people are standing here right now, dog, this person right here is committing evil acts and they're not a Mason, and this person is committing no evil acts, doesn't try to secretly whatever the fuck people accuse that person of doing, none of that shit, I'm supposed to just automatically dismiss this person and rock with this corrupt, evil piece of shit because this person is called a Mason? Like, when you start thinking about shit, man, I had a conversation with a young lady last night about this. When you start thinking about shit, man, you gotta think in totality. You can't just watch a video and say all Masons are evil. Nigga, your grandfather was probably a Mason. And I'm not saying nothing. I'm not ever going to challenge that there are evil groups of people who cluster together, and some of those people are called Masons. Do you think I would refute that? Do you think I would dispute that? Of course I wouldn't. What I'm trying to tell you is that happens all over the planet. That happens all over the planet. Groups of people get together for their own agendas all over the planet. And they're not all Masons. Like, yo, I'm trying to tell y'all, yo, You and I are the problem. You and I are the reason we're not up. And I'm not saying you particularly, I'm just saying us as a people were the reason, not 100%, but at least 45 to 50% of that is us. We don't buy black. We don't shop black. We don't teach our kids black. And I'm just using that term to cover all of us. We don't do any of those things. What the fuck does that have to do with a Mason? The fact that most black kids under the age of 20 do not see Europeans as their open enemy. What does that have to do with Masonry? What does that have to do with Masonry? What does you not educating your children about who their open enemy is have to do with Freemasonry? Nigga, you're not educating your children on who their open enemy is. You're not educating your children on what school really means and the purpose of it. You're not educating your children on how we got to this position. You're doing that. We're doing that. Nigga, this is what I am about titles. Let's not call it masonry. Let's call it pacery. Like, the point is, those particular actions are evil. Do you not understand what I'm telling you, bro? Because you keep saying those words. I don't care about the words. Words are only used to convey thoughts about actions, nigga. The fuck? I don't care about the words. Stop saying masonry or Freemasonry or Rosicrucian Mason. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit, dog. The evil is the only word I want to hear you use. Because either somebody's being righteous or they're not. Either somebody's being fair and upright or they're not. But you're not going to sit here, and nobody's going to sit here, because that's what Pharaoh do. That's what all them niggas do. Sit around, Freemasonry, dog. Do you know how many other things that are fucking up this planet that have nothing to do with that stupid shit, dog? Do you really think that you're going to stop Freemasonry and then evil's going to go away? So you're telling me evil didn't exist on Earth until Freemasonry? Like, when are we going to get off of that stupid ass shit? That's the same thing why I just explained. Everybody keeps saying Illuminati is evil. How the fuck is illumination evil? How is being intelligent evil? Because that's all Illuminati means. It's a fucking metaphor. Synonymous. If I'm going to use a synonym, I'm just going to use intelligence. What the hell? Thank you, Ebony Knowledge. It's just semantics. And semantics just mean words. If you look up the word semantics, a synonym for semantics just means word. Words. Okay? Words are used to convey thoughts. Period. Period, dog. That's it. Because we don't use telepathy anymore. So if you keep trying to say, oh, the Mason's this, the Mason's that, and the reason why I get on this, Sankofa, is because I'm so tired of hearing that shit, man. That shit's played out. It has nothing, it has nothing to do with masonry. And you may not be blaming you if you're doing the right thing, but you are not going to sit here and say to me, look what's in before you, and you not going to look what's before you and recognize that black people don't even teach who their open enemy is anymore to their children, dog. You telling me that's okay? You telling me that's not leading to us being defeated by these people? Really? And are you telling me that the black people who are not properly educating their children, which means they're giving them something that is going to harm them, that means they must be using they Masons too, and they evil towards their children? Like, yo, man, you got to think in totality, G. Shit is bigger than them YouTube videos and them fucking books you read. Ritual spells. Are you gonna now ritual spells are evil? Fucking black women from the dawn of time have been using ritual spells. Now they evil? Them same black women was using ritual spells to keep them fucking crackers out of Haiti. That's what they was doing. To keep them motherfuckers out of Haiti, they was using rituals and spells. Like I keep saying, yo, what is evil and what isn't? Find out what those things are. I'll put up a number, not on this live stream, because I do have one that can be used to call in. But what is evil and what is not, dog? And the fact that one person educates their family, you one out of 100 who don't. You're one out of 1,000 who don't. So that's the fucking problem. If somebody's nobody's gonna sit here and tell me, dog, that just because you wear some sort of title, you are automatically evil. Because that means if you wear some title that is righteous, that means you're automatically righteous. And we done been through that in this community with the Godfather of Consciousness and all these motherfuckers, the Grand Emperor Set, Illustrious, and all this shit. And found out they ain't nothing but scam artists and fucking hustlers. The nobles this and the honorable that. Scam artists and hustlers. Come on, man. That Mason shit, that you evil because you a Mason, you gonna have to show me just because you a Mason, you're evil. And you're gonna have to tell me about the people who aren't Masons who are evil. What does that mean? That's all I'm saying. Freemasonry doesn't really run our society. Freemasonry, again, bro, is a code used. If you think that Freemasonry alone is what's running our society, then I need to put up a number for you to call in. Because this shit is bigger than Nino Brown, G. This shit is bigger than Nino Brown. And Freemasonry is on the level of evilness is Nino Brown. Then this shit is way bigger than Nino fucking Brown. So they're not the term Masons, the people, let's break this down. The people that you're referring to, okay? I'll talk about them versus me calling them Masons. If you want to bring up the people who are doing evil, I'll talk about that versus them being Masons. Like when I talk about the Boule, do you see the title when I'm talking about Boule? I'm talking about a mind state, bro. Why do they have Haiti now? Were you there defending? Was I there with you and our other brothers and cousins there up in arms to make sure Haiti stayed free? Did we do that? It's easy to say the stuff you saying, dog, until you actually examine, once again, what the fuck did you do? What the fuck did we do? What the fuck did my grandfather and great-grandfather do to prevent Haiti from being recaptured? A free black land. What did they do to prevent it from being recaptured? So it's easy to say certain things. Right, that was a blanket statement. In bed with Satan, or they got Haiti now. That is a blanket statement. Because, dog, you didn't do anything to stop that shit. And I agree, Ebony Knowledge. I agree with most of his points. It says Rashawn, so he must be a brother. I agree with his points. I'm just saying that you're stopping here when you just go all the way. So if you go all the way, you won't be caught up on labels so much. That's why I spent 7 years of my life dissecting Freemasons. I talked with these niggas. I met with these niggas. I know who these people are. So when you try to call these people automatically evil, I'm like, huh? Like, this nigga don't do nothing but go to that building over there and them niggas ain't doing shit. Nothing. Now, if you're talking about some ex-president or some billionaire, okay, maybe. And I agree with that. But I don't care about the title. I'm talking about the thought process. They're evil. fuck Masons and fuck Masonry. And I don't mean to say that personally to a Freemason or a Mason, like, fuck you, nigga. I'm just saying I don't care about that shit, dog. I care about a mindset. Are you going to have a proper mindset or you're not? Are you going to have a peaceful building mindset or are you not? Period. Period. I don't care anymore about that. The reason I sound like this, dog, is because I'm 40 years old now. I've been doing this too long. I've been doing this from the time I was like 21, 20 when I started this shit, G. When I started Jordan Maxwell and all of this shit, I've been through that shit. I've been through that shit. All I'm saying is at some point, you're going to recognize that when people try to make you think it's a whole bunch of shit, it really ain't. It really isn't. It's not. That's part of the confusion. Watch out for the Masons. Which Masons? The Rosicrucians. Oh, them over there? No, then you got to watch out for the Prince Hall because some of them, then you got to, nigga, it ain't about none of that shit. It's about who wants peace and freedom to reign and who doesn't. And you will identify those people by their fucking actions and by their deeds. Sometimes by their words. Sorry. In those terms like that, you gave your soul up. How could you do that? Explain to me how someone has a soul and where do they keep these souls? Because if you're telling someone that they gave their soul up, I guess Brother Sapp said he's a Mason. So you're telling me he gave his soul up. So Aaron Sapp is a soulless person now? Where is your evidence and proof of that? Where is your evidence and proof that his soul is gone? Moving on, yo.
Can't fully understand. They feel that is a threat when they don't know fully what you're talking about. You know, so
Yes,
we gotta
sir.
do better. We gotta do better. You know, I know you do
Yes,
good,
we
but we as a collective have to do better than keeping things to ourselves just for a change. Okay.
Absolutely.
Now, I saw one person make a quick comment talking about the Bible is our problem. No, the Bible is really not your problem if you read through it. Actually, the Bible actually.
No, the Bible kind of can be a problem.
Passive. It doesn't sanction evil, and it actually has a great end to the evil system that's running of this day, believe it or not. You know, and Sister Vicky dealt with it.
As far as the Bible goes, like I said, it can be read if you really read it. He's right. It's not no extra peaceful book or none of that shit. But I just feel like Black people have been fucked over and corrupted so much and so long dealing with the Bible and miseducated about that shit so much that it should not even have any bearing on what we're doing. It should not have any, like when we talk about liberation and moving forward, the Bible should not even be a part of that shit, dog. Like nobody should be talking about, well, the Lord said in Matthew chapter 5 verse, like no, that's not, come on, G. Like, so I'm not here to knock anybody who fucks with the Bible. All I'm telling you is when it comes to liberation and moving forward and educating yourself, like that should not be the first place you go to because it is not a credible source as far as that. That's all I'm saying.
World, we can go down there another time, but let's get to the meat of the topic.
Yes.
The Boule mouthpieces, Sister Vicky. The Boule mouthpieces on CNN,
Boule mouthpieces. When I say Boule, I mean groups of individuals with a liked mindset. Okay? I don't really care about the title. They could call themselves Fule or Kool-Aid or Mule or Dule instead of Boule. I don't care. Okay? I'm addressing the mindset, because from the fucking mindset comes the evil. From that mindset comes the deceitful actions. From that mindset comes the attempts to trick you. Not the title.
See, I ran into one of them at Politicon, that Dr. Jason Johnson from the Root. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, and I actually saw a little clip of you. You were going at it, brother.
Yeah, and they really look down on us because his attitude. Like I said, I really got to see his attitude, because
It's my show, bro. I'll put up a call in next time, but it's my show.
She come on, it's always a thing. He was looking down on her, and I didn't like that, because I said, listen, you may not agree with Sister Shirley and some of her politics, but don't come around looking down on her. And he said, oh, look at this little booth here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so he's up here reading it, and I asked the other guy, I said, who is that guy? I didn't know who he was. He said, that's Dr. Jason Johnson from the Root. I said, oh. So I walked up to him on purpose, and I told him, I said, hey, you work at the Root? He said, yeah, I work at the Root. I said, oh, okay. That's the only thing I told him, and he felt so convicted. Literally, you had to feel convicted in your heart. What I just said to you, the first thing he said out of his mouth was, you must follow Tariq Nasheed. I'm like, boy, Tariq Nasheed is in the head. I'm like, man, Tariq Nasheed wasn't there. His name wasn't mentioned nowhere that weekend, but yet you bring that man's name up.
Because right now, apparently, there is a war going on with Tariq Nasheed and Roland Martin. This is not anything new for anybody who's not necessarily in the know. I'll tell you now, it's not anything new. If you go back on a few years ago, maybe to when Hillary was running, right before, around the election time, before that faggot Trump got in. So Hillary went on Roland's show, and he was started dancing and shit, like literally pop locking, dancing around and all that shit. So Tariq Nasheed was clowning him, making videos about him, clowning him, because it was funny and it was embarrassing. Like, if we have a presidential candidate up here on your platform, you should be asking her, why the fuck are all these cops killing us? You know what I'm saying? Why are you allowing this shit? All of that shit. Why are you doing this? Why are you behind putting people in prison behind phony ass fucking drug laws and shit that your husband put in place, et cetera, et cetera? Just a plethora of shit you could have asked this fucking woman, and you up there dancing with her. So he kind of got, buck dancing, as it was called. So he kind of got dragged a little bit by Tariq Nasheed. So here they are now. They're still going into it. And that's that.
Right? Wow. So they have this attitude that they're better. And Dr. Carl Anderson called them the black overclass, that Boule, and they benefit off of our oppression, Sister Vicky. So how is it that we haven't spotted them a lot sooner?
Well, the time and what must be done. Right now, I believe that we are in a very spiritual time. The time and what must be done was called the fullness of time. A lot of the activities, a lot of the Black agendas from our beautiful Marcus Garvey, even the desires of W.E.B. Du Bois, of course, the desires of our mothers, Ida B. Wells and others, a lot of things did not happen during their times because we're now in the fullness of time. And one of the things that I say on the show, for 400 years, the guy himself
Sorry about that,
down to judge that nation that oppressed us. And it's only one people group, and that's the Black man and the Black woman of America, by extension, those around the world, that fit that description. So that's one of the things I want to say, is that we're in a fullness of time. But I also want to say that before us, the Elijah Muhammad's, Thank God Minister Farrakhan, who's 85 years of age, is with us today.
Yep. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Did was to take our languages away so they
growth singularly for them and therefore no more. But the Black metric for success, the Black ruler, how we measure success for Black folk is not individualistic. It's the collective. If the masses of Black people are still bound, if the masses of Black people are still struggling, we see that as still failure.
And that is the crux of my whole position. People like Roland Martin and that Boule mindset, they're only out for themselves. And real Black people know that deep down in the places we don't always talk about, we know that our fight is not done until we got this freedom for every one of us. Our fight is not done. You are not above the struggle. You are not above the struggle. Getting a secretary job next to Kamala Harris, if she becomes president, should not be something that you're shooting for. But that's what these niggas is shooting for.
Whereas the Boule they're content with them becoming Bernie Sanders' press secretary and now having a contract with CNN. So now you think that you get to talk down, to us as a people that are free thinking.
Right.
Let me say it again. Free thinking.
Not Freemasons, but free thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Want to disrespect
they got you
us.
trapped.
That's not going to happen at this time. We're not pleased with our position on the plantation.
Well, this is the thing. There are people like this Boule class. They benefit off of our oppression, Sister Vicky. That's the thing. So while we doing all this talking about, hey, you need to give us something for our votes, okay? When we talk about our vote is a business transaction, anybody can get these Black votes now. It's not going to the Democrats. These Boule Negroes supposed to be the Negro explainers, right?
Yes.
These folks look at them and say, hey, what's going on with all that talk they doing? Like you're not explaining it to us, like interpreting it. So what is the first thing they do, Sister Vicky? They say, oh, well, they're bots. I'll say, okay, so now you want to claim is that we're bots. No, we're real people talking. And notice, it's not, and I keep saying this, it is not white Republicans that's leading the charge against Black folks right now. Like this Democratic Party is literally going back to what it originally was. Black folks used to vote Republican all the way up until the time of Dr. King. Then after that, they kind of started voting Democrat. Do you know that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
These Democrats was actually the party of the Ku Klux Klan, and we talking about history. We talking about the American history. If they taught y'all some of that, they probably won't teach you that. You get what I'm saying? Now, I'm not telling you the Republican Party of today is the Republican Party of the past. No. I believe we should all be independent if we're going to be attach ourselves to something.
Exactly.
And in the middle and say, hey, we only want someone with class.
Sorry about that.
All of them. I think Kamala Harris the other day said it's kind of divisive to have a Black agenda. Did you hear about that?
Yes.
I've listened to. I'm not.
And she did. Kamala Harris said that it's divisive and divisive to have a Black agenda. So you are not to be going to your alleged representatives, and you see I did air quotes, alleged representatives, and asking them for the police to stop killing us. It's derisive. We have to say, stop killing everybody, though they're not just killing everybody. See what I mean? That's how it works. This is the lip service that these people give to you to allow their bullshit to run over you. Because that's all it is what I call bullshit talking. That's all it is. They want you to be galvanized by Kamala Harris because she looks black. Roland Martin and the rest of these niggas, they're going to fight us tooth and nail because we are now awake. This is 2019. 2019. Everybody is pretty much awake except for the younger niggas and the newbies. The newbies are the only, you could tell young people and newbies by what they talk about. They'll generally be talking about 666 and Masons and Rosicrucian and all that shit. We know that the fight is against evil. And we have found a way to recognize that evil when we see it. Are you going to assist fucked up behavior to continue? Or are you going to fight against it? If you are fighting against it, you will have a track record of doing such. If you are fighting for that bullshit, Kamala Harris, you will see a track record of that person doing such. That's it. Here's Roland and how he feels about it. Hold on, guys. We got a little commercial. And we'll listen to Roland's weird ass.
Down in the live stream in upside down.
Down
So as
my
we-
live stream.
I had to go ahead and
That's how Roland be sounding to me, nigga.
So I'm live streaming on the phone, and so that's what I'm doing right now, talking to y'all. So I wanted to hop on real quick, just to share a few words about how it's been very interesting over the days since Kamala Harris announced that she was going to run for president. I've been paying attention to the different people out here. It's been really, when you look at this response by some folk.
Here he goes.
You know, with her, really interesting, this whole response to her run. And what we've done is we have returned back to this nonsensical debate over blacks.
Okay, just to address Roland right now, a debate about blackness in the sense of, I'm going to let you say that because I know what you mean. A debate about blackness or a question about blackness is not nonsensical. It's nonsensical to say that that's nonsensical.
And the reason that is stupid to me is because it really does speak to this notion of self-hate. So let me unpack that.
Identifying whether somebody is fronting to be like you so that they can appeal to you, so that they can manipulate and use you, is not self-hate, people. Okay? Do not let a Negro like this tell you no shit like that. That is not self-hate. Actually, that is self-love. You got self-love, you got family love, right? You're not going to let some person come to your cookout and pose as though, what up, Tiff? You're not going to let someone come to your cookout and pose as though they're some fucking, they're one of your family members, are you? And start eating up the food and your own family can't even eat, didn't even get a chance to eat. If you check these people, will you be engaging in family hate? You would be engaging in the ultimate family love. So this whole question of, I'm using air quotes in the words that he used, black enough. If you want to check to see if someone's black enough, that is not engaging in self-hate, people. Do not be manipulated by niggas like this. That is not, hold on, y'all, hold on. Let me fall on my fingers. I made a bathroom and I must be evil. Do not engage in all that bullshit, telling these niggas telling you you're engaging in self-hate. Okay? Because you're not. That is the ultimate self-love. Don't ever forget that shit.
So here you have a sister who is Jamaican and Indian descent. A sister who goes to Howard University.
No, she didn't. That's a fucking lie. I'm going to let it play, but that's a lie. That bitch went to school in Canada somewhere.
District attorney is that?
Not that it matters. Let me clarify that before I let it play. Not that it really matters. The fact that it and the why it matters is because this individual just fucking didn't want to bring up that she really went to school in fucking Canada. Like, why would you leave that out? The reason you're leaving it out and the reason you're mentioning Howard is so that you can try to make her seem like she's one of us and that we're being stupid for making sure we protect ourselves from niggas who front and really ain't about us. And y'all know what I'm talking about. It's brothers and sisters that come from Cape Verde, Africa, all these places. And when they get here, they just like us. They recognize the world universal struggle that black people got. Then you got niggas who will come over here from them other countries, from Jamaica and shit like that, and won't act like that, and to be, oh, you are American, and I ain't like act all hoity-toity like they different. Okay?
Francisco goes on to become California Attorney General. Now he is United States Senator, and then we have folks who are engaged in this whole silly back and forth You have these ignorant, stupid fools talking about she snatched her edges. I mean, they are so dumb, it's beyond belief. And so now you're going through all this back and forth.
And calling people dumb, Roland, like you could have used something better than that. That's why I don't care about how I talk to you, because you're fucking dumb. Like you could have used your fucking mouthpiece to be something other than a fucking stoolie. And a fucking nigga who pop locks and dances for white bitches. Like, I ain't never gonna forget that shit, nigga. You's a real weird ass nigga. I cross the street when I see white women and I make them know that I'm doing it. When I walk past them in stores and shit, I be going just like this, like all intentionally, nigga, so that they see me moving out of the way and I'll generally look off somewhere and don't even make eye contact. I do that shit purposely. And you was up there pop locking for her. This nigga Roland's a fucking... this nigga was literally dancing for Hillary Clinton.
And the question then that you have to ask is, what exactly are these fools going to get?
And let me say this. I know I keep interrupting. I got to say this one more time. Because he keeps saying fools and dummies. Never once did he call Hillary Clinton a fool and a dummy or her husband foolish or dumb for fucking creating blanket ass laws that affect so many people and ruin so many families. Never once did he do that. I want y'all to always remember that. Never once did he call Hillary Clinton dumb. Never once has he referred to Bill Clinton as dumb, or none of these people were foolish for all the shit that they did to you and the shit that they did to us. But never once. But we a fool because we not stupid enough to accept some fucking light-skinned chick who taking pink cock and knowing goddamn well who and what this bitch really about, and she a prosecutor. We know what she about, nigga. Fuck wrong with you? Keep thinking niggas is done. It's over, man.
You talk who say, oh, hashtag DOS, descendants of slaves, and they start going on and on and on and on about, oh,
he's definitely adding
agenda and
definitely.
Who is going to ask the question?
They sold out right around the same time, Lawful.
So we got reconnected there, so sorry about that. So
these niggas sold out the same time, G.
Which one of y'all gonna actually get an interview with her to ask her those questions? Y'all see where I'm going? I just want y'all to understand there's a lot of people who talk lots of noise on social media. But they've done nothing to put themselves in a position
Listen to this.
to ask any of those questions.
So now he's trying to create this invisible line of let's use the mighty Thor. You are not worthy. He's trying to create an invisible line of worthiness, whereas you get to sit back and shut the fuck up because you didn't put in the ass kissing time, meaning sucking balls, kissing Hillary Clinton ass, doing everything that white people told you needed to do to be in my position to ask these questions. Nigga, who the fuck are you? Roland, you don't even have a job. Like, you don't do anything. There's nothing you do. So, no, you're like, come on, man. Why do they keep using you? Why do they keep using you? Because you're the biggest fucking mouth. You're the biggest mouth out here that's a black man. And they know goddamn well that you'll do exactly what you're doing right now. Come up here and run your fucking mouth for 10, 12 minutes and talking shit to black people in an attempt to get them to feel shamed for realizing that Europeans are running game on them and been running game on them. And the number one way that they run game on them is through our own people. That's why the police killed more black people during Barack Obama's era as president than they did in Bush's or currently Trump's. But niggas love Barack. To this day, you'll have niggas talking all that shit about Barack. And them same niggas are falling into that Boule mindset trap of start thinking, well, some of these black people, they was probably out here. No, nigga, it's the same whitey that was doing the same shit to you, nigga, when you was over here standing beside me, nigga, until he let you go in that building. Now you looking at me different. I wonder why. But the crazy part is you knew about niggas who go in that building and then start looking at niggas different. You already knew about that. So you shouldn't have succumbed to that. The reason most niggas like Roland and Kamala Harris succumbs to that, the reason why they succumb to that bullshit, I'm going to tell you why. Because they always wanted to be over there. That's it. They always wanted to be. They don't mind slavery, dog. They just want slavery light. I love all the people who don't get it. When I was joking Hillary Clinton in 2015 about the wobble, and it was a joke. But you notice how the wobble. He said it was a joke. Nigga, what did you do serious? Don't make me pull up the interview. There was nothing you asked this fucking broad about that was serious. What are you talking about?
all ignore the fact that I asked her black questions beyond before they even happened.
Black questions.
And the discussion took place at Claflin University, HBCU. So again, I want to ask all these people who are running their mouths. Okay, so let's walk through this. We asked Senator Kamala Harris the question. The 10 questions.
That's his shit buffering, not me.
It's real easy to criticize, but it's not as easy to get out your butt. All these folks who want to run their mouths on YouTube and also attacking her without even asking the questions. Now tonight. Somebody just supposed to share new agenda. All right, so tell me this. How many folks have an agenda 3 days after they announce? And
this nigga said, because somebody was in his chat and they said, first off, she has no agenda. So he says he read it and then he's ready to answer the question. So he's saying, okay, so she has no agenda. Who after 3 days of announcing a presidency has an agenda? This is how stupid they think we are. What up, Red? Blue skies. This nigga Roland Martin just said, when told that Kamala Harris doesn't even have an agenda, let alone a black agenda, he said his retort in response was, you tell me this, who after 3 days of running has an agenda? Look at this nigga, yo. He's saying this shit with a straight face, yo. Dog, Roland, let me help you out, bro. If she doesn't have an agenda, if she does not have an agenda, why the fuck is she running for president? Yo, if she don't have an agenda, why are you running for president? Yes, he does, Aaron Sapp. I'm going to read this because he thinks he's smarter than everybody. I've said one time long ago on a video about Roland Martin that Roland Martin, I absolutely love conquering motherfuckers like him. Because I like just crushing down people who have the smartest guy in the room complexes. There was one in here earlier. Good, sounds like a good brother, but I've been there. I've studied too long. I've been around too many fucking bright, intelligent people who also have smartest guy in the room complexes. Where every single thing you say is right and proper. And you're here to correct every other nigga. And Roland Martin is that nigga to 1,000th degree. And I said nigga, because that's what you are to me. Any grown man, black man, okay, that says that his college degree is worth anything, I'm going to tell you right now, this motherfucker right here, this ascot wearing motherfucker right here, went to Texas A&M University, okay? He's a guest. He doesn't never allow his guests to speak, ever. Smartest guy in the room complex. But if you're a college educated brother, don't tell nobody. Do not tell anybody. Because this is the type of shit that is what you call educated. You would openly say to someone, why should you, do y'all expect her to have an agenda after 3 days of announcing her presidency? Like, nigga, your agenda should have been the reason that you ran for president. That's like putting the cart before the horse. That's exactly putting what happened. That is exactly putting the cart before the horse. Yo, this nigga Roland, G.
My point, an agenda is developed.
It's developed.
I said that black folks are.
Now he's playing see, this is something about politics you don't know. An agenda is developed. So you mean to tell me any random motherfucker could just out of nowhere, oh, I'm running for president. For what? Why do you want to run for president? I don't know. I'm going to develop a reason why.
Going to be asking.
Hold on. And listen to this circle talk of him trying to explain this shit.
Harris, questions that we're not asking Obama. But it is stupid to attack Senator Kamala Harris and she only announced for 3 days. Don't you think it's more important to ask the questions and then see how she responds?
Roland, I don't know if you know, bro, but everybody's making these videos and up in hoopla about how she's responded to questions she's been asked. And when we investigated this woman, what we saw. You're leaving that out.
All this childishness that some of these people are throwing out to me serves no purpose whatsoever. Because see, these same folks, okay, are they demanding an agenda of Elizabeth Warren? Are they demanding an agenda
yes,
of
he is,
Castro? Are they demanding an agenda of the guy who just jumped in with the mayor of Notre Dame? All of them should be asked all of these questions. But the point that I'm making is idiotic to sit here and even go through this childish, oh, let me question your blackness after 3 days.
Again, remember, anyone who questions the authenticity of someone posing to present and attempting to present themselves as you and your representative, you questioning that is of paramount importance. Okay? Paramount. You are not self-hating. You are actually doing the exact opposite of self-hating when you engage in that behavior.
This is why a lot of, look, y'all got to be real careful of the people who you listen to and subscribe.
Yes.
It's not a noise.
Right. He's talking about himself. It's called projecting.
Look at their record. What have they done?
Projecting. Look at his record.
How are they?
Look at Kamala's record.
We're having some Wi-Fi issues here. These are all critical questions that we should and looking at somebody's record, looking at their agenda, and say, okay, how does that size up for me as a voter? You see, I don't make the assumption that a black voter in California will think the same as the one in New York, the same as the one in Alabama. I believe what we should be doing is examining all the candidates. I'm not endorsing anybody. What I am going to say is, I'm going to wait to see what you put forward. And then I, as a journalist, am going to ask them to seek an interview with them and ask them a series of questions that I believe are relevant to our community.
That he believes are relevant to our community. And who is our, and what community are you talking about, nigga? In a nutshell, that's what Roland Martin really wants from you. He wants you to let him ask Kamala this stuff because he knows he's not going to ask her anything. He's going to do whatever it takes to make her look good so that he can look good to his handlers and they can allow him to have a real job this time. Watch how hard in the next coming months that he campaigns and goes hard for Kamala Harris. Watch how he goes in for her. I just want y'all to see it. I want y'all to watch and see how much he capes for her. Because he wants to be that voice that if for some reasons anything positive happens for her, he can now be associated with her and off her shine.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
Shame TV East Watch. I've had fun this morning, guys, but now it's time for me to get to work and get some shit done. I've had fun with you guys. You guys are awesome. The brother who came in with the masonry talk, thank you for coming. Again, just be a little more open-minded and recognize that you live on a planet, you know what I'm saying, that sits in the middle of a galaxy. Amidst all a billion other planets and galaxies and shit. So it's hard pressed for me to, stay so grounded with the masonry shit, but I get where you're coming from. So I don't want you to understand or think that I don't understand where you're coming from. But where you're probably not coming from is the fact that the difference between me and you, when I was doing all this masonry studying and all that shit like that, I was proactive and lucky. I say lucky because I actually met a Mason who would actually have a conversation with me about the shit. Actually, two. So that's why when you hear me talk about it, one of the reasons I'm so comfortable about talking about it. Because I've actually met them. I call it luck because that's just not something that happens to people on an everyday basis, I guess. So it's like me actually talking with these brothers, one nigga is just some old nigga who worked all his life. He got his own house and smoked cigarettes every day and watched TV. He only hires black men to work because it was a construction shit. The other one is had a regular job somewhere, made a decent little job somewhere, working, got a wife, take care of his family, works out, coaches kids in the community, shit like that. I don't see that nigga out nowhere being evil, dog. And it is hard pressed for me to just accept that these niggas is evil because of that bullshit. Cause that shit weak as fuck, cause they don't do nothing. That shit don't do nothing. I don't see it anywhere doing anything to anybody for real, except maybe the shit that the whiteys do and they little connection. But even just Shane TV East Watch, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'm gonna get back at you guys later. Peace. One more time.
Shame.